Well, hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish. Now, remember when you're doing this, when you're collecting leaves for your aquarium, the first group of leaves you want to collect are leaves from some body of water, a creek, a stream, a pond, a lake, whatever, some body of water. You want to get leaves that are beginning to deteriorate because they have mycelium and bacteria, plus a whole lot of other nano critters, microscopic life on and around them, growing on them, living on them, surrounding them. So when you bring that in, you're bringing a whole ecosystem into your tank. And then just spread it across the top. Lay it right over the sand, and they'll do fine. They'll do wonderfully. Again, over on Discord, we've got folks posting videos, little videos of their tank that are ponds. And they've actually gone out and collected all kinds of material from the wild, from ponds and creeks, and put them in their fish tank. And they've got a wild pond full of all sorts of bugs, and it's just amazing, really amazing. It's it'll change the way you think about fish keeping. Come on over and try it out. You can put the leaves in, just regular leaves off the ground, but you're not necessarily going to get the kind of biology that you really want in that system to turn it into a food web. That's the key. We're in the food webs. Nobody else talking about food webs. Now you have to understand, and this is critical to understand. We are on the absolute vanguard of the tropical fish hobby. No one else is doing what we're doing. We're way out in front of the parade, and we're trying to entice people in so that we can get a crowd in here doing deep substrate, doing food webs, doing natural, not just natural looking, but natural tanks, actually real living aquariums with all of the bio load, all of the animal life, the animal fuels and plant matter that goes into making up any kind of body of water out in the wild. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what our fish come out of. We have this attitude, everything has to be so perfect, so clean, so pristine, so absolutely pure, with not a grain of dirt and not a bit of bacteria in it. Where in the world is there a fish in the world living in an environment like that, other than in some crazy fish tanks? Crazy fish tanks. It's not the way fish live their lives. They live their lives the same way we do, out in the dirt and the muck. So you need dirt and muck, if you will, if you want to have a really healthy aquarium. You kind of have to wrap your head around it. And then once you do, you got it, and it becomes really easy to move forward with that and to begin to develop systems that really are healthy, strong, vibrant, stable. My aquariums, let me look at a couple here real quick. All of my aquariums are aquariums that have been set up for roughly 10 years. All of them. And you know what I do in these tanks? Well, this one's going to get a water change because I've got to get rid of some algae in there. I'm getting hair algae, and I want to get rid of it. This one has not had a water change since I moved here, which is 3-4 months ago. And it won't get one probably for another 6-8 months. Does it need it? Why do it if it doesn't need it? It's a stable, healthy thing. That's what you want to get to. You know, there's no benefit to going in there and mucking around in your tank every day of the week. There's no benefit to it at all. It's not good for the fish. It's not good for you. It's certainly not good for the aquarium. And it makes it difficult to be able to grow anything. The tank needs to be stable. It needs to be stable. It needs to be able to become whatever it is that's going to become. When I first brought these tanks over and set them up, I put water in them and I ignored them for a month. I did nothing for a month. I just let them settle down, let them calm down, let them get used to their new environment. Not just the fish, but the tank itself, all of the life in the tank. And then it began doing some things, began adding plants, began adding fish, did a few water changes, which needed to be done because I had put creek water in to begin with. Turns out that wasn't the best thing to do. So I had to do some water changes. But the tanks are stable. I can walk away from here for literally 6 months. And if I keep a lid on them and put the lights on a timer, they will be fine when I get back. Is your tank like that? Can you do that? That's what you need to get to. And it's not hard to do. It's really not a problem. It's easy to do. All you have to do is trust yourself to a father fish substrate. That's really key. You've got to have a deep substrate, and you won't have dirt in the bottom of that. That's going to give you the foundation that your tank needs in order to be able to thrive. So do that, set it up, load it with plants. You want lots of plants, and don't go out and buy expensive plants. Buy cheap plants. Collect plants from outside and put them in there. You want to get it growing. Once it's growing and established, you can begin doing some fancier stuff, which is what I've done here. I had people complaining to me, "Oh, your tanks are all just common plants." Well, I took that to heart, and I've started putting uncommon plants in here. And I've done a few, not a lot, but look at that, my word. It is solid with plants. And there's some pretty nice plants in there. Now, I could not have done that day one. Wouldn't have been possible. They wouldn't have survived. But, down the road, once it gets established and healthy, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. You just want to, you want to give it a chance to establish itself. And then let it be. Just let it be. Spend your time watching it, not puttering around it.
Deep in the water where the fish roam free, we're building a food web, a tiny world to see. Leaf litter from nature, providing a home. From microflora and microfauna, no longer alone. We collect the leaves, the water and the creatures in ponds, rivers and streams. Our ecosystem features, creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Building the food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world, standing proud and tall. Microscopic life hiding and thriving beneath the surface of the water, a delicate motif. As we watch them flourish in a tiny space, we see the importance of maintaining a place. We care for our aquarium with love and dedication, knowing that every element plays a vital relation. From the smallest to the largest, every creature has a role. Together they create our monotonous home. Building a food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world, standing proud and tall. aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world standing proud and tall. Building a food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world standing proud and tall. Oh, oh, building the water where the fish roam free. We're building a food web, a tiny world to see. Leaf litter from nature, providing a home for microflora and microfauna. No longer alone, we collect the leaves, the water and the creatures in ponds, rivers and streams. Our ecosystem features, creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Building a food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way.